r/ask Reddit. What's an urge you get but will never act upon? Every time I stand over the bins of apples in a grocery store, I wonder how many people I could hit with a decent throwing arm before somebody stopped me. To just vanish. To just withdraw all my money. Get in my car and drive until I don't feel like driving anymore. It would like hitting reset on my life. Everywhere you go, there you are. I too had this urge for a long time until I sat down and thought about just why I felt this way. Teacher here. Sometimes, whenever I have students act out of line, I get the urge to seduce their mothers and randomly show up at Saturday breakfast. What a power play that would be. To move far away from where I currently live, never telling a soul where I'm going, and starting completely fresh in life. I did it, got lonely, didn't fit in well on a place where I didn't grow up, ended up lonely as ever, and when I moved back I was so much happier. Maybe what you need is a break. It wasn't like that for me, but it ended up like that for me. It helped a lot. Anyone else get the weird urge to kiss whoever you're talking to, regardless of their gender or attractiveness? Almost like a "I could kiss you." What would occur as a result of that? I wonder. Urge? It's really off-putting at times. I hope it's not just me. I get this too. Sometimes I get the urge to hit people too. Not because I want to cause them pain or hit them. I think my brain is just like, yeah, but like, what if? When I'm driving, I often get the urge to just swerve into oncoming traffic. Haven't a clue why. Whenever I am working and someone is physically close to me, a little voice pops in my head saying they are so close, you could just kiss them. But then my brain comes back to reality and I'd realize I have no desire to kiss my bio partner, teacher, etc. But they are so close that I could. I'm almost the same, except I get the urge to slap people. I'm talking to someone and just feel like beating them across the face. They're so close. I could just do it and they'd never have time to flinch. Of course I don't actually slap people across the face. Scream at work. If you work in a restaurant, go into the walk-in and scream. It helps. When hugging small children animals, I always can't help but wonder if I'm strong enough to just crush them to death. I'm not gonna test it out. I really want to take a bite out of the deli meats at the store, but I think an entire one would cost way too much. If someone is walking very slowly in front of me, I want to kick their foot and trip them so bad. I always have to hold back yelling "move out of the way" to slow walkers. Wouldn't do it because don't want to be a wanker. When people stand by ledges or at the top of stairs and I feel like pushing them down, it's so tempting. Push me. And then just touch me. You know those really annoying kids in the mall, running around and their parents don't care? Forearm smash. Take them out. Boom. I'm a recovering opioid addict. I've been clean for almost a decade. The thing about addiction is it never really goes away. I still get the urge all the time, but I've learned to control it. Even if I get around certain friends that feel like they absolutely must get me to eat a Percocet or something, I'm easily able to say no, but the urge will always be there. Move to a new city somewhere in the world and start a new life. I did this with surprisingly little planning and having never visited the city I chose. It worked out amazingly, and while I know it's not for everyone, if you have relatively little to lose and can bail out back home, I suggest trying it. To drop everything and live in the wilderness. Sometimes civilization is just too much. I get this too, except it's immediately followed by the realization that I am woefully unskilled at most things that have to do with wilderness survivalism. I work at a nationally known pickle company in packaging. Over the last 6 months, every once in a while, I get an urge to stick my dong in the pickle slicer. I am not sure why, but the impulse is getting stronger. I never will though. I mean, he's married, for God's sake. Quitting. I will, but it'll be called retiring when I do it. I had that strong urge today when I realized that I had not been provided a very key piece of information I needed. After working on a horribly tedious project for 3 days, had to scrap the whole thing and start over. For a moment, I thought about just walking away from my job, my life, everything, just getting in the car and driving until I ran out of gas. I used to daydream about sitting in my car in the garage with the engine running. Seemed like one of the less painful ways to off yourself. I don't have a garage anymore though. It absolutely is not a pleasant way to off yourself. Both CO and CO2 inhalation trigger an asphyxiation reflex that includes a violent panic attack, thrashing, etc. I won't elaborate further because I don't want to give anyone ideas, but gas suicide is a complex process and easily botched. Taking my seatbelt off and hitting the e-brake while on the highway and letting Jesus take the wheel. Literally just ram my cart into the a-holes that stop in the middle of the aisle in grocery stores. I've never been in a fight, like a full-on fist fight, just wondering how much I could give, but I don't want to be broken afterwards, so I won't ever. I feel like this may be more common than I think, but I sometimes really want to know what it would feel like to feel extreme pain, but to not have it last. Like I want to know what my pain would be like if I stabbed myself, but I don't want it to cause lasting damage. Exhibitionism. Actually, as a high schooler I would go hiking out by these dried up riverbanks. Wide open areas of loose stone scattered with valleys and hills and small groves of trees. In the distance less than 200 yards away there was this neighborhood isolated by this wall, but all the second story windows had a great view of this area. Long story short, the exhibitionist spirit hit me one day while I was hiking, so I stripped off my clothes and spent the rest of the day naked. No one anywhere near me, but for all I know 200 people could have been watching from their windows. What fun. Motorboat random women with fantastic racks. The urge to just turn off my social filter and say just exactly what I feel each and every person around me needs to know. I regularly have to stifle the want to just freak the duck out on strangers for a variety of reasons. What if, when I was having a heated argument, I just beat the shit out of the other person, even someone half my size? I've been in a fight when pushed or punched, but disagreeing with someone is no reason to become physical, but the thought does intrude sometimes. Knock someone off the road when they change lanes into me really quickly without even using their blinkers. I'm sick of slamming on my brakes or swerving lanes to dodge these idiots who don't check their blind spots. If they're not going to drive safe, then maybe they deserve an accident. I don't act on these urges, but man, I really want it. I have this urge inside of me where I picture myself satisfyingly murdering someone, taking them down. Particularly someone I dislike. I know I probably won't ever murder anyone, but I always think about this. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.